Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Welcome to another episode of True Dungeon Talk with Trent. My name is Trent of trenttokens.com. I'm a big fan of the game called True Dungeon and a very avid collector, and I often say, which you can see, plenty of tokens back here. Today is a very special show. It's going to be with Paul, and I'm going to ask him how to pronounce his last name. His avatar name is Picc. Also, I'll figure out where that came from. It's a pretty incredible show. We've got lots and lots and lots of stuff to discuss. We've got some secret things to open that we're going to do. We're going to talk about how he got involved in True Dungeon. He's a dungeon master, creator of True Grind and Patron events, a world-class falconeer, if that's a word. As well, so we're going to discuss how he got into that. That last part might be I might have made that up, but we'll see. But before that, I want to do a little housekeeping. I always forget that, liking and subscribing. So please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. If you have, I appreciate that. Also, at the end of the show, you have to be here in order to win. If you would like a chance at some gold and treasure chips, which you can see here on the screen, check the chat. There's a pinned link. Click that link, fill out the form, and you'll be automatically entered into a drawing. But you must be here in order to win. Once I draw your name, you've got to say, hello, that's me, or something like that in chat, and then you'll be marked as the winner. If you're not here, I'll move on to the next person. I think that's pretty much it. Let's get to the good stuff. Everybody, please put your hands together and welcome Paul.
Hello.
Oh, the audience loves you. Oh, my Lord. I've never seen him clap so enthusiastically before. Hello, Paul. How are you? And welcome to the show.
Doing well. How are you, Trent?
Well, I like to say every day I wake up is a good day. So I'm doing very, very well. So I didn't ask you this before. Can you please correctly, not that you would incorrectly, can you please tell us how to pronounce your last name?
Well, everybody pronounces it Miszczak, which is incorrect, but it's Miszczak.
Miszczak.
Yep.
Is that did I get it right? Miszczak?
Yep.
Wow.
You got it.
So that sounds like some type of origin, like Eastern European origin. How close or how far am I there?
No, you're right within 50 miles. It's Polish. The ZCZ kind of gives it away.
Okay. Yeah, you have got a lot of C's and Z's and K's going on there. That's a pretty cool name. Speaking of that, where does Picc come from?
So, embarrassingly enough, Dragon Ball Z. Years and years ago, my friends and I used to go out to Quake tournaments. We played it semi-professionally, and our team's gimmick was we had one guy who played under Goku. I was Piccolo. We had another guy playing Raditz, which tells you how old that was. So just sort of stuck around.
Now, when you say Quake, to me that sounds like the Doom era. Doom, the first-person shooter, and Quake. That. Wow, you're not old enough to be able to play that game. What were you, like 4 playing that game?
No, man, I'm older than I look.
Okay. You want to tell us how old you are? I'll tell you how old I am. I'm going to use a calculator, though.
I'm 46. I was born in 79. I don't remember the 70s at all, but that means I was there.
All right, so now I have to tell you my age. Hold on. So it's 2026. I'm not very good at math, so I'm using a calculator. 2026. Let's see, 1968. I'm 57. In October, I'll be 58. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, you do not look 58. I would have put you in your late 40s tops.
When I was 40, I was in school, and I took a friend out to, or a new friend out to dinner, or lunch, whatever, in Koreatown when I was in L.A., and he was Korean, and I said, so how old do you think I look? And I was about 40, 41 at the time. He said, in all honesty, he goes, 70?
Oh.
Yeah, so when I was 40, and then one time when I was at the VA hospital in Los Angeles, I was there for like some normal checkup, and the lady gave me this like bag, a weird bag thing. He goes, here, you need to poop in this. And I was like, wait, what? And she said, yeah, everyone over 50 has to do that. And I'm like, I'm 35. So the nurse thought I was 50 and I was 35. So come on, people. Anyway, let's say hello to chat. All right, so in chat, we've got the Garrett Bay. He's saying hello. Salsa John says hello, Trent and Picc. Ashton says hello. Picc's channel? Is that your wife?
No, that's me.
Oh, that,
I got chat open.
You can't watch your own show. Bono, what a weirdo. Dave says hello. Gerald Sutherland. Valerian. What's up, Valerian? David Haas. Oh, David. He's one of the normal humans. Wow. It's amazing. There's like 2 normal humans who play True Dungeon. He's one of them. Steve Austin, speaking of not normal. Steve and Chris, hello. Michael. Miszczak. And David also says, yay, Paul. Gerald says, hey. Ashton, again, says, hand clap. Valerian says, hello. Now, that is, all right. And I got super lucky when it comes to Lash Poland's names. Oh, yes, you did. Salsa John says, you're just a young'un. Picc. Salsa John says he's 74. Come on, John. You are not even over 50. God, he looks good for his age. Myron says, howdy. Friendly Fiend Charm says, good day. Rachel, what's up? Rachel says, hello. Bach Aiden, of course, Picc has to watch. A DMC's everything. The Chemo Boy, and Flaw Razor, and Gerald. Gerald is actually Jake. Okay. What's up, Jake? All right, so that's hello to everybody in the chat. We have got a ton of stuff to discuss. Again, everybody, click that link that's pinned to the chat if you would like to participate in the free drawing that you must be here at the end. And if you haven't done that liking and subscribing yet, please do so. Last time I checked, there were 565 subscribers. So help me hit 600 so we can spread the love of True Dungeon. So speaking of spreading the love, you have included something in my most recent treasure that I want to pull up here. So give me a second to adjust my camera angles. There we go. All right. So now, first of all, we have a couple things to discuss. So I'm looking over my shoulder here, making sure this is in the shot. Now, your wife played this character in the last Patron event, and I did a unboxing of this, and I was very surprised to see there's a message here. What can you tell us about this message, Mr. Picc?
Appears you've been commanded to,
Okay, so...
It appears to be some kind of meta puzzle. I don't really know what she's planning beyond that, though.
A meta puzzle. So, in chat, did you get one of these? It looks like we have Gilder. What's the last name? Rickenstein?
Van Richter.
Van Richter. Gilda Van Richter? That's the last name? Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Oh, there's a little V right there. Okay. And she also gave us a kiss. So commanded to or it's a part of a meta puzzle. So in chat, did you get one of these? And if so, what did your message say? I assume the front is the same. There can't be too many of these out there because, we'll see that as part of this show. This is part of one of the puzzles here. So that's that. Also, inside my treasure was this. It says open live on air with Paul. This says 1 of 1. That's just, I think, the standard participation token. Paul, are you ready for me to open this on air?
I'm ready to see what the 1 of 1 is.
Okay, here we go. All right, so let's open this. And chat, feel free to help me guess what you think this is. I feel like a token capsule, so I'm assuming it's a token. Okay, here we go. I'm very excited. Oh, cool. Check that out, chat. So this is... Oh, wow, that's really cool. I can see the 101. So that is from the Patron Treasure. I've got one right here, actually. So this came from Patron Treasure, but this is a very cool, either accidentally damaged or purposefully damaged. Wow, that's great. So whoever do I have you to thank for this, or who am I thanking for this?
I credit Grunnell. All praise goes to Grunnell. That is the only Onyx Woody I am aware of, though.
Oh, Onyx Woody. Okay. Yeah. So very, very cool. This is the patron token with a really cool hash into it. So wow, that is awesome. Well, thank you to All Praise to Gruntle. So that is from that. So now let me go back to this other camera angle here. Give me a second here to pull the little clicky, and there we go. So chat, what did you guys think of that? A 1 of 1 there. So let me check it in with chat. David says he's out of town, so he hasn't opened his treasure yet. Myron, neither me or my 3 sons got one, sorry. Okay. Salsa John says, I've been commanded a kiss. Alex says, yep, field notes, and I think IT put in the spreadsheet. Okay, so yeah, we fellow nerds are coming together. So Alex got one. Valerian is pointing out her monologuing. Yes, she definitely did some monologuing. Steve says he got one. It has Gilda FQ. All for the love says treasure. Jake says wow. David Gerspach says, if you got one and haven't connected with him, please let him know. We're organized and solved. So yes, if you got one of those and you haven't reached out to Dave Gerspach yet, do so. If you don't know how to reach him, just email me and I'll connect you. Gilder Von Richter is in chat. Hello, Gilda. Aren't you like on the run? She's in chat. Souvenirs for my fans with some useful information. Wow, we've got Gilda Von Richter in the chat. Yeah. Wait, did she die or did we? Or no. She could have escaped, which we're going to see that, right? Or for both of those versions, does she end up dead? You tell me, Paul.
I'm pretty sure she meets a bad end both ways.
Oh, okay. I guess I forgot that part. Valerian says, love the wooden steak. Me too. Yeah, I really like that. Salsa John says, that is very cool. I did not get a puzzle piece. And Gilda Von Ritker from Beyond says, shh, don't fret the details. Jake says, you have Gilda and Craven. So something tells me, there's a way for her to survive. All right, so let's dive into the early years of Mr. Paul Picc, Quake extraordinaire. Now, what are we looking at here? What kind of who is this young man?
Well, I like to start planning my modules really, really early. So that was in the 3rd grade when I was apparently working on a calendar of some kind.
No way. You are ridiculously cute there. Wow. Did you know that?
I have been accused of it. I don't believe it myself. I think it's sheer flattery.
Well, I flatter not. You are super duper cute, then and now. So tell us. So you're a little tiny Paul/Picc there. Where, for those that don't know, where do you live now? Where are you now?
I am north of the ice wall in Canada, specifically in London, Ontario, which is pretty close to Toronto, about an hour north of Detroit.
Wow. Okay. And do you guys have to send out, your prisoners or whatever to defend the ice wall, or maybe it doesn't work that way on that side?
We call them plows up here. We just make them shovel.
Right. Now, so you're in Canada, the Canadian. Where were you born and raised, if I may ask?
I've been here in London my whole life. Never quite managed to get away.
Wow. I assume that means you like it there?
No one likes London. But yeah, as much as ever. It's a nice sound, honestly.
So it's called London.
Yep.
Interesting. Right. So people could think that you're British, right? You just don't have an accent. You live in London.
I mean, I don't think I could pull off the accent, but yeah.
Cool. And how about your real life job? What do you do in the real world?
In the real world, I am a database analyst for an insurance company. I do a little bit of programming, a little bit of data analysis, just honestly a little bit of everything because we're kind of small, so it's boring, but it pays the bills.
Yeah, I hear you. You got to pay those bills. Now, for the fellow computer nerds out there, what kind of programming languages do you currently use and or know?
I mostly do back-end stuff, so a little bit of C#, a little bit of Visual Basic. We still have a lot of legacy Visual Basic code. Lately, I've been doing a lot of RESTful APIs.
Okay, very cool. So all the fellow computer nerds understood all those words. Now, somehow, speaking of nerds, if I didn't think you were a gaming nerd, this would tell me. Where's this?
I believe that's Gen Con 2011, 2012-ish. I think we still had the funnel carpet.
Now, when was your first Gen Con?
2011, the Dracolich Undone year.
So right away you dove into True Dungeon. How did you hear about and get involved in True Dungeon?
Well, I was doing a lot of conventions up in Canada. We were playing the original Warlord game at the time through AEG, and I was doing the Dragon Lord challenges all up here. So then we decided to go down to some conventions in the States, and honestly just read about True Dungeon on the website and decided it sounded super cool. So that tipped the balance for, yeah, let's go to Gen Con, and honestly, good decision because I've kind of been stuck there ever since.
Wow. And when did you meet this, the alias of Gilder von Rector?
High school, corny as it is to say. She came up to join our D&D group in about the 10th grade and also sort of never left.
What? You had it. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Everybody, attention.
Hold on. You're in high school. You have a D&D group. This lovely lady approaches. She joins said D&D group, and out of all the other nerds there, somehow you two merge and become one.
Yeah, basically. I mean, not initially, but we got there.
Eventually. That is amazing. Talk about having something in common. Wow, no wonder she's so awesome. Holy potato chips. And did you guys go to your first Gen Con / True Dungeon together?
Yep, she's been there with me the whole time.
Wow. I thought I was lucky. Man, oh man. You have got the best life of all time. Do you know that?
It's pretty good. It's honestly, I got no complaints.
Wow. No wonder you're such a kind person, because you're such a sweet and gentle soul, and you're so caring and giving to others. I knew there was a reason I loved you for all those reasons. How about that, chat? The coolest cat of all time, and has a beautiful bride in the D&D world. Oh, man, that's super, super cool. So this is from, what, 2014? What is this? What year is this? Do you remember?
Zephyr is, yeah, 13 or
13?
14.
I think that, yeah, 13ish. I think it's probably 13. Here's Into the Viper's Pit. Look at all these guys. So
they all look so young.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I'm going to zoom in. Let's first zoom in on. Let's see. You've got a little bit of kind of a rock star vibe going on there with all that hair.
Yeah, I miss my hair, but you know, seasons of life.
I could be jealous too. You know what's interesting? Joe Kubu looks the same today.
I'm pretty sure he hit max level and just stopped aging.
Yeah. He just looks the same. It's amazing. Now, speaking of someone who I think kind of looks the same too, maybe a little younger. Look at Fiddy there.
Fiddy also stopped aging. His beard is just getting a tiny bit more distinguished. But other than that, yeah, dude is remarkably well preserved.
Yeah. Now, here's a couple people who I think definitely look very different. Now, who's the cat in the purple shirt that says Cupcakes? I don't think I know him.
I'm actually not familiar with. Maybe we can zoom in on his badge and investigate further.
Well, I don't want to get too crazy, but I do see at least two people. Do you know who the person on the far right is? He's definitely a token fan.
Definitely a token fan. I do see two I recognize. I see one Mr. Smackdown and I believe a Mike Lutz. Is that Mike?
I don't think it's Mike. Oh, is that the guy on the right?
I think it might be, or am I getting my names crossed? It's been a long time.
I know the name Mike Lutz. So so David Haas says that is Mike Lutz. Okay, cool. So and a couple other people are agreeing as well in chat. Now the one in the glasses, that's the photographer guy. He's the one who does True Dungeon photography. So someone can help me out in chat with his name. He's got a kind of a very cool name. All right. So speaking of chat. Yeah, let me, actually, speaking of chat, let me remind chat, in case you haven't been here before, if you have a question, just type the word question and then what your question is, so my eyes will be drawn to it. If you have any questions about anything, Paul, his writing, True Grind, True Dungeon, Canada, him being from London, Britain, and being married to a vampire hunter, and all those other cool things. So let me catch up with Chet here. Valerian says our group definitely got our attack rolls in during the monologue. Yep. All right. So okay. Hello. Iralam. Hello. Steve Harris, hello. Valerian says that 2011 was his first Gen Con as well. That's cool.
Nice.
The Garrett Bray says, back in Nerds Unite. Yeah. So Bach Aiden says, damn, 2012 was my first. Somehow thought he was around a lot longer than me and others. Yeah, people think I've been around much longer than I have. My first year playing True Dungeon and going to Gen Con was 2016. Believe that. Miszczak says, good choice on my behalf. And Steve Austin says, Laura and I are also high school sweethearts. I don't think it's corny at all. I agree. I don't think any of this group would think that's corny. I think all of us would think it's cool. Inglage says, you two are adorable. I agree. So that's catching up with chat. Again, if you have any questions, just in chat, let us know. Now, here you two are with a very old prop or monster design, but I think this was probably the second, or at least the second time it was used. And can you tell us what this is from?
I think that Beholder's turned up a few times.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. When was this? I want to say this was one of the Runheim ones with the baby, like the 1,000 little baby holders in the room. So,
yeah, that was cool.
2023, 2024, I think.
Something like that. If it was Runheim, wouldn't that have been 2022?
Yes. We did Chaldea after that.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so let me see. So you mentioned D&D. What other hobbies do you have?
Mostly card games. Sometimes miniatures. Honestly, I dabble in all things and don't stick with any of them too long.
Okay. Now, let me find this. I've got a photo here of you being a falconry person. So let me find that photo here. So do you command birds? You're an ornithologist? Is that, if I'm saying that right? I mean, what is this from?
This is an event my lovely wife found for us to attend a couple of weeks back. It was a Meet the Birds experience. I look cooler in this than I am. The birds were doing all the work, I assure you.
Wow, that's super cool. So your wife finds cool events for you two. If I can be so bold, my wife found an event last night that we went to. I fancy myself... whatever. So you've got professional, amateur, and then like 1,000 levels below amateur. That's where I am when it comes to astronomy. I love looking at stars. I love looking at the moon. And she found this very cool event because there was a very interesting moon last night, and there was amateur astronomy people there looking through telescopes, and we were looking at all the stars. Like Venus was there, Jupiter was also there, Sirius, Betelgeuse, the twins. What else? Of course, then the moon came out and it was enormous and bright and beautiful. So, yeah, I see you have the smart, beautiful half, taking care of the very cool events too.
Most definitely.
So we're both lucky there. Jake says the Beholder was in Redux, the room before me. Okay. Flarazer says eye bites, baby beholders were in Tomb of Terror 23 and 24. Bach Aiden says Beholder's been to Origins and Gamehole Con 2 over the years in various dungeons. Yep, I remember. AA Magic 2 says, I know there's a Beholder in 2024. His first Gen Con and first TD. Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember. I think I saw the Beholder in 16, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be. I just remember seeing it pretty early, and it was pretty amazing. Now,
I think 16 would have been Behold Her Majesty, one of the drow ones.
yeah, so there you go. So that would make sense that Beholder Majesty was there. Now, speaking of True Dungeon, you started playing in 2011. That's amazing. When did you start volunteering?
The very next year in 2011, honestly, it just sounded like a fun thing to get more involved in. You know, I like doing the theater kid stuff. Granted, I mostly just like working the lighting boards. I don't generally like being in front of the camera, but it was something I wanted to do right away. And honestly, it's been awesome ever since. So everybody should totally volunteer for Gen Con.
Wow. So what kind of volunteer positions have you held?
I've been a blue hand, a coach many, many times, a DM when they ambushed me. This year I get to go back to coaching, so that's cool.
Wow. And would you say you have a favorite of all of those?
Honestly, probably coaching, because I get to meet the most people. The day flies right past, but yeah, they're all wonderful in different ways.
Really? Okay. Now, for someone who's never played True Dungeon before, how would you describe True Dungeon?
It's like a D&D game meets an escape room turned up to 11. Well worth doing and a unique experience.
Okay. And for someone who's never volunteered, how would you describe it, or not convince them? I guess maybe give them more information to make them, perhaps be more interested in doing it.
Honestly, it's a wonderful group of people to work with. You get to be involved with it to a level that you wouldn't otherwise. You really just get to spend a lot more time with the stuff and with the people. If you want to be more involved in True Dungeon and not have to worry about the hotel lottery, that's a wonderful perk. Then I certainly recommend volunteering.
Got it. Now, do you have a favorite physical convention that you like to volunteer for?
Definitely Gen Con, because it's got the 2 shifts, so you can very easily volunteer and still get a ton of True Dungeon or Dealer's Hall in.
Got it. Very cool. Again, if anyone has any questions in chat, please just type the word question. And speaking of that, we've got a question here. Narax Nick, a question for Picc. What's your favorite board game?
Oh, that's rough. There are so many. But lately, Elder Sign's been pretty good.
Elder Signs, okay. John says, sometimes you get salsa. I guess if you're volunteering. David
John's
Haas,
salsa is amazing.
Yeah, Salsa John is great. Got to figure out how to turn that into a business on the Trent Tokens website. Trent Token Salsa, brought to you by John. David Haas says, coaching is great, and you are awesome at it, Paul. I would agree.
Thank you.
Rachel says, shout out for theater kids. I hear you. Yeah, if you're a theater kid, you've definitely got to volunteer for True Dungeon. It's a show. It's a show. For all the theater kids out there, that there are so many crazy shows and tech rehearsals and dress rehearsals and shows that the lines are changing, the paint is still wet, but the show must go on. That's True Dungeon. Jake says Elder Sign is solid, and Nick says salsa is worth the volunteering. I agree. Now, besides all of that and your involvement, you also recently took over writing and being the dungeon master for True Grind. How did that happen?
I'm still trying to figure that part out myself. Apparently I was doing a bunch of weird runs, and then a certain goblin reached out to me and asked if I'd like to do it, and I've just sort of been doing it ever since, and no one's told me to stop yet, so...
No one has caught you, right? You're right. You just... What is that thing when people feel like they don't deserve it? Imposter syndrome, right? So maybe if you have that, no one's caught you yet, right?
Oh, I got that bad. Honestly, yeah. I got that real bad.
I think that might be a gaming nerd thing. I don't want to over generalize or over stereotype, but I met many fellow people who feel like they have that. So maybe that's just our way to stay somewhat humble, and not think too big of ourselves. So I don't know. Or, we have a psychological disease that should, get some counseling. Maybe a little bit of both. So someone reached out, you wrote them, and you do them, and you're incredible at them. That just happens. It seems so
Apparently.
simple.
I mean, honestly, I've been DMing on and off for years, so yeah, it just seemed the thing to do. I'm happy to do it. I don't know why they decided they wanted me to do it, but I'm certainly flattered and happy to keep doing it for a while yet anyway.
You are incredible. True Grind is an amazing thing for anyone who hasn't done it yet, and for people who have done it, they know that it is incredible. Pardon the New York noise if you heard that. But you really, speaking of taking it up to 11, you really do take it up to 11. I mean, it is just astoundingly amazing. You just do such a great job. And your fellow dungeon masters as well, really just the way they participate it's just an incredible thing. So I just wish we could duplicate it and maybe train more people and offer more true grinds, because we've got to just more people have got to experience this, at least in my opinion. So okay.
Well, we have some plans in the work with Jeff for next year, so hopefully we'll be able to get some more tickets out there.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. All right, so let me check in with chat here. Valerian says, looking forward to grind at Ring Con. Did one at Gen Con ages ago. So Valerian, you haven't seen the new style. I did tons of grind back in the day. It's incredible, lots of fun. But I think Paul brings it to 11. You're going to really love it. All right, so Gerald says Paul does do awesome. Steve says Paul's True Grind is the main event for the weekend. I concur. Salsa John has a question. What do we need to know for True Grind at Ring Con? Can you hold that thought? Give me 2 slides, and I want to get to that question. This is the one I want to do first. How cool are you? You're Picc.
I'm just glad I didn't have to die to get my name on one.
That's insane. You have your own token, and it's a best in slot token as well. Who doesn't want +1 to hit and +1 to damage with melee and range attacks and slotless? I mean, it's literally one of the best tokens there is.
I mean, I might have asked for a lot on that one, but yeah.
So walk us through.
I'm super happy with it.
Yeah, walk us through. How did this happen? Did someone reach out to you? Was this a surprise? From what you just said, it sounds like there must have been a connected, someone reached out to you. Walk us through how this works.
Yeah, so Jeff just emailed me one day after I'd been doing grind for a couple of years and said, we want to acknowledge your work and, thank you. And, what would you like for a token? And then we bounced ideas back and forth for a while, and this is where we ended up.
Wow. Incredible token. Yeah,
I was
it's amazing.
Super honored.
So I want to be open and honest, like I, always try to be. It took me a while before I got the connection about True Grind. It just said Grindstone. So in my mind, it was, a stone that you grind against your weapon or your bow. But then after maybe, 6 months or maybe even longer, I was like, oh, True Grind. Oh, okay. And then I thought everyone else got that right away except me. So just wanted to share that with everybody. It took me a while to kind of get the connection.
There's at least one person in chat right now who's like, Trent just blew my mind.
Yeah, please open up to us, chat. Did anybody else not get that connection right away like me, or had you not even gotten it until I just mentioned it just now? Speaking of chat, let me check in. So we're going to get to Salsa John's question. Valerian says, not only that, it's one that will never get replaced. I agree. Rachel says, many a neurospicy has some imposter syndrome. I'm with you there. And John says, notice the ravens for the symbol birds and a Canadian connection. Okay, Canadian connection. David. You know why? Because you're so smart with other stuff. So, ooh, I'll claim that. I'm so smart with other stuff, that's why I didn't get the connection. If Dr. David Haas didn't get the connection. So, there we go. See? Yeah, when you're smart like me and doctors, pretty much. Yeah, yep. You're in good company, Mr. David Haas. All right, so let's get to Steve's. Sorry, that was John's question. Let's go here. John says, what do we need to know for True Grind at Ring Con? So please, Paul, answer that question and tell us what we're looking at here.
So these are going to be our variable powers for both Gamehole Con and Ring Con this year. So if you turn in the ultra rare special, Jeff has agreed to give us access to a deck of many things. You'll be drawing not just for yourself, but for your whole party. People in your party can draw.
Wait. Say that again. I draw, and something happens to the whole party?
And the whole party gets to draw their own card if they want to. They don't have to.
Hold on. One special,
10 draws.
10 people can choose to or choose not to.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. How many bad ones are in there? And how many good ones?
Well, it's a deck of many things, so,
Oh, no. Everyone's going to be too afraid. Sorry to interrupt,
Jeff
but I just wanted to connect. Okay, so please continue.
All right. For the Eldritch Runestone, we have Misty Step, which lets you and somebody else swap positions. So, let's say you slide that 20. Let's say the rogue has that assassin's crossbow. Maybe you and the rogue Misty Step and swap with each other. Get off a nice crit. Then for the Of Wonder, be it through Ring, Amulet, or Totem, we have a Spirit Patron-ish. So you can select a Spirit Pet.
Spirit Patronus! Okay, got it.
It'll lose that nasty once per game limitation, so you can slide your Spirit Pet as much as you like, and it'll benefit from your focus for both hit and damage on any room where you activate or turn in a wand. You don't even need to know how to use the wand, you just need to turn it in. Any old wand will do.
All right, so this is where I separate myself from Mr. Dr. David Haas. He's much smarter than me. I don't quite understand the last part here, and I taught for many years as well, and usually if one student didn't understand something, that means another student probably didn't. So I'm probably not the only one. Can you either rephrase or maybe clarify something about this Of Wonder part? This, to me, seems to imply that it's only related to wands, but I can't imagine that's it. So as a melee person or as a ranged person and then someone who does wand, is that 3 different scenarios or is this one scenario? Please clarify.
It's kind of a two-parter. So anybody who's got the Of Wonder will be able to designate a Spirit Pet that they can just slide as many times as they like throughout the game. And anybody, be they a caster or not, can turn in a wand to have the Spirit Pet get boosted up by their focus. Now, granted, if you're a melee type, you probably won't have a ton of focus. This one is a little bit more caster-leaning.
Okay, so this is whoever turns it in, now the Spirit Pet can be slid as many times as they want, but that's their standard action, right?
Yep.
And if whatever your focus count is, turn in a wand, and that focus gets added to their damage, the Spirit Pet's damage.
Yep, the Spirit Pet's hit and damage.
Hit, plus to hit and plus to damage. God, right there, hit / damage. Okie dokie, Smokey. Now I got it. So, anybody have... Now, John, did that answer your question? His question was, what do we need to know for True Grind at Ring Con? Do you think that answers that question, John? If not, please... ask away. And for anyone else, do you have any questions about the 2026 Grind variable powers? This is True Grind at Ring Con and at Gen Con.
Sorry, not at Gen Con.
I'm sorry, Gamehole Con. Sorry. Another one that starts with a G. So at Ring Con and Gamehole Con. Maybe one day we can bring it back to Gen Con. I remember doing it there, but it's
trying
tough.
to convince Jeff. But,
it's tough. Like the last time we did it, it was like up the escalators and just kind of in this area where people were just walking by. So it was a little bizarre, probably. All right, so let me check in with chat. Let's see. Steve Harris also didn't make the connection, but hasn't played True Grind since 2010, so you get a pass. Block Aiden says, missed out on Grind at Ring Con, hoping to get a chance to play later this year. Yeah, you got to. Nick loves the Wonder Power. Block Aiden also loves the Wonder Power. David Haas says, will we have extra pucks? I'm going to assume no,
always.
right? You take out your weapon and stick in the Spirit Pet?
Yeah, so you'd be sliding the Spirit Plate in place of your attacks, but we will always have some extra pucks around.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
no, this wouldn't be like a second slide. This would be in place of your primary attack.
Right. So, yeah, that's what I would assume. Just use your... There's no need for extra pucks if the Spirit Pet is your attack. All right, so we have a question here from Bach Aiden. Question, would a non-caster's range bonus apply, or say tokens that specifically increase focus, say Eldritch items apply?
Anything that increases your focus, so like if you're just getting sort of a passive focus increase from an arcane set or anything else, then yeah, that would certainly apply. But it wouldn't be just the range bonuses per se.
So you turn in the wand and then all of the focus, however you're getting focus, applies.
Yep.
But focus doesn't apply until you turn in the wand.
Yep, and that's just one per room. We normally have like 3 or 4 virtual rooms and grind, so it'll probably last for a couple of combats.
You know, I'm not sure, not being a wand user, if there are any common wands. Maybe somebody in chat knows, or maybe you know, Picc. But I would assume there's common wands from eons ago. If not, there's got to be some uncommons or that can't be too difficult to find.
There are definitely some common wands. I believe that you currently have some on trenttokens.com.
Well, I probably could go there and check, but, you know, this show is about spreading the love of True Dungeon, but feel free to visit truedungeon.com. All right, so next up we have David says, could be a very crowded board. Yeah, I agree. The Friendly Fiend Charms, great name. Ring Con answer. My friend's promises were made and trinkets were given out. These favors should be repaid.
Oh, yes, that's a reminder to anybody who has a Fiend skull. Make sure to bring that with.
Fiend what?
Anybody that the Friendly Fiend gave one of our little skull trinkets to last year, make sure that skull trinket finds its way to Ring Con. She might be doing something with those.
Right. The Friendly Fiend Charms. Right. I don't have one I've got one. It's actually right back, right there. It's in the background. I have that. Yeah, the little bracelet. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to bring that. I've got a little stack of stuff over there that I'm bringing to RingCon. Okay. John says, question, can the ranger and monk slide a weapon and a pet? Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Yep. Yeah,
What?
most definitely yes.
Oh, really? Is that an official ruling? I mean, they've got 2 pucks, so their attack is one of their weapons and the spirit pit.
Yeah, I think that would generally apply anywhere. The ranger and monk don't have to have a weapon in either puck. You could have a spirit pet and one to activate its ability.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think what you're saying, at least in your room as the dungeon master, unless there's some type of ruling that overrides this, it sounds like you're, even without this true grind thing that we're talking about now, it sounds like your ruling would be with 2 pucks, monk or ranger, one is a weapon, one could be blank, you're right, because you could just be trying to bump somebody, right? The one could be a spirit pet as well, and you would just roll the spirit pet once, but this would allow you to roll a spirit pet multiple times, right? Am I getting
But
that?
I believe that the only thing that the monk and ranger have to do is have 2 pucks leave their hand, but the contents of those pucks are up for debate.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so that would be Paul's ruling in his room and or True Grind. And in True Grind, he can do whatever the heck he wants. If you haven't done a True Grind yet, it's just madness and insanity and extremely fun. Okay, so Alan, that's right. So yeah, Englage says the photographer mentioned the show is Alan Alley of Logical Focus. Yeah, Logical Focus photography. Incredible photographer. Jake says best fiends forever. And Rachel confirms there are definitely common wands. I've probably bought some from you. Why, thank you, Rachel. All right, so that is it from the Picc Life. Now I want to dive into the Riddle Reveal for the Patron event. If you did the Patron event, now you'll get to see some of the questions that you might have answered by Paul. If you did not do the Patron event, now you'll get to see what we all saw. And if you haven't done Patron event before, I highly recommend it. It's usually fun and silly and goofy and really cool. Jeff usually pops in and says hello, so that's kind of cool for him to pop in and say howdy. And you don't need to use your treasure. Generally, you don't need to use your treasure enhancers, so that means you can add other tokens and really boost your characters to something crazy. So that is that. So if anyone has any questions in chat, please ask away. And before we get to that, one last check with chat. The Friendly Fiend Charm says, bring your little puppy and dragon skulls. Should I be summoned, you will be rewarded, my friends. And Salsa John is putting in a plug for Boo Park in Carbondale. So yeah, when we go to Ring Con, check out Boo Park. It's very, very cool. Without further ado, let's dive in and check out the first video from the patron event, Scarlet Moon Masquerade. This is the intro, so everyone enjoy.
The Scarlet Moon shines over Craven Moor for only a single night each century. The bards whisper that while its cursed light stains the land, the power of the aristocracy wanes, and that while they are vulnerable, the vampires gather for a grand masquerade, far from the mortal eyes of their victims. A single night, during which even the immortal Craven is powerless in his crypt, while his servants revel and scheme above. In a candlelit chapel far from Castle Cravenmoor's shadow, you stand amongst a secret meeting of the Order of the Dawn. The elders speak desperately of duty and sacrifice, that if the evil of Craven is ever to be destroyed, it must be tonight or not at all. For years, the Order has prepared for this moment. Careful plans laid for a final strike at the Count during his singular moment of vulnerability. All of it was meant to culminate in a precise assault under the Scarlet Moon. Then the hero of a dozen ballads ignored the Order's careful plans and vanished into the castle weeks ago, certain they could end the Count themselves before the masquerade even began. With their champion lost and their plans in ruins, the Order has been forced into a far more desperate gambit. Your group must take the hero's place and be smuggled into Castle Cravenmoor as chained offerings. Stripped of steel and saintly charms, you are loaded into a wagon and carried through the night. The road grows colder, steeper and narrower, until at last you reach your destination, and the wagon's wheels clatter to a stop on the bloody cobblestones within the walls of Craven's dark safehold. As you hold your breath and the smell of ancient blood fills your nostrils, you are conveyed inside by the Count's minions. All that you can do now is to pray that your arrival has gone unnoticed.
Very cool intro. I really love this. When I first saw this, I mean, I only saw it once because, you only do one patron event. I thought, oh no, are we going in with like no weapons, no armor? Oh my God. I was really, really worried right away. So did you write this whole story by yourself? I mean, did you work with Jeff? Did he give you guidelines? Or tell us how this came to be.
Generally, we get some general guidelines, like where the story's starting, which NPCs we can use, which ones we can kill, which ones we can't kill, and where it has to end up. Then I write a pass at it, shoot it over to Jeff. If we go back and forth a few times, and then, yeah. But generally, that was pretty much the thing I came up with, and he approved the first go-around, so.
Wow, it's really well done. I kind of thought that one image where we're all in the carriage, that I got a little bit of Skyrim throwback there. I thought that was kind of a nice touch. So in chat we've got somebody, Steve Austin says, question for Trent, how could you let Chris get his fingers glued together? That wasn't me, man. Chris, he's a grown man, so he does his own crazy things. Do you have any comments there on Chris's craziness, Paul?
So Chris somehow managed to get his fingers glued together and apparently needs to find an onyx universal solvent of all things.
Good luck. That's 2015 token, if I'm not mistaken. And
not generally available in onyx.
Yeah. Hard to find. Valerian says, our group felt so silly with the first puzzle. We got it, but definitely felt silly when we had solved it, but didn't realize it at first. Yeah, we're about to see the first puzzle, a picture. That's a pretty cool first puzzle. Yeah, and also very Skyrim-esque, kind of, because you're in a trap cell, which I thought was a nice touch. So speaking of that, actually, let me do a quick reminder. If you haven't done that liking and subscribing yet, please do that. That helps spread the love of True Dungeon. And if you want to participate in the live giveaways of gold and treasure chips, please click the link that's pinned in chat. But you must be here in order to win. Now, let's look at the intro for Room 1.
The plan so far seems to have worked. You have been carried inside the walls of Castle Cravenmoor. Now, only one task remains before you can challenge the Count. You must use the key in your possession to free yourself from the cage and recover the weapons the Order of the Dawn has smuggled in for you. However, before you can set yourselves to the task at hand, a masked aristocrat appears outside the bars.
Ah, good. The party fairs are awake. Do forgive the confusion. You're expecting this one, weren't you? Simple lock, simple plan. Break in, pick the catch. Heroically dash into the dark. The Order does love its fairy tales, doesn't it? Oh, don't give me that look. Did your contact in the Order forget to mention that we might have changed the locks after the last little fragile hero was missing? Or did they neglect to consider that part? It's almost tragic. All the planning, all the scheming, the prayers, and what I can assume was such a heartfelt sermon, that this was the last chance. And none of it matters. But don't fret. It ruins the flavor. The guests are not quite ready for their evening meal yet. So, why don't you take a few moments to marinate in that? Really get the blood flowing by struggling in vain to escape.
Not good. Talking about
Jake just did such a good job with that intro, though.
But fret, it makes the blood flow or taste better or whatever. I mean, it's terrible. He's going to eat us.
You're being punished.
I know. He wants us to struggle and get the blood flowing. Yeah, Jake did incredible there. It was an amazing thing. And here's the first puzzle here. It took our group a few times to figure this out as well. I think we were probably down to maybe a minute or so before we actually solved it. It seems simple, but it's a little harder than you think, but it's also a little easier than you think because you probably make it seem like it's kind of hard. Now, how did this puzzle come to be?
So this is basically it's a lock logic puzzle. The rogue can either pick the face off the lock so you can get a bit of a better look at it, or the barbarian can tear the face off of it if there's no rogue, but most of our groups had rogues. Then you basically just shift the large puzzle sections around. So some groups did manage to solve it right away. They had very spatial thinkers. Other groups struggled with it a little bit, got themselves a little bit more trapped. In terms of how this came to be, I actually have a tiny version of this puzzle that's just sort of been hanging around in my interesting box of stuff for a long time. And I was like, why don't we just make it big?
Yeah, but maybe this is just me, or perhaps others thought this. You've got like the square of the puzzles, and you've seen those around. It's different little moving things. There's no way to like leave that square. So I think that was the kind of a genius move here, that you need to kind of leave the square in order during solving, or at least that's what it seemed like to me, right? Isn't there some leaving the square section that's part of the solution?
Oh yeah, that's the sneaky bit. So the green squares, they form sort of an L, and you can push them up through the top of the lock body so that the one of the squares is outside of the square area and gives you some more room to maneuver.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool. Speaking of super cool, here's behind the scenes 360 that you shot, I think, on your phone, right?
Yep. There's Yamsi hanging out with the other choppables.
This was nice.
Yeah, you can see the green thing sticking out the top.
Yeah. There's a little secret thing.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, so let's dive into room 2.
Oh, escaped already. Oh, that's good. That's good.
This is Jameson the
I've
werewolf.
been instructed to present you to the count's guests later. Once you've been properly cleaned up and prepared, you understand. Very full. Very, very dry. But I admit I was a bit worried there may not be any leftovers. Oh, no. But this way. No. This way is much better. I don't suppose anyone would mind if I just took a little bite. Just a little nip. It is the night of the Scarlet Moon, after all.
Oh, sorry about
I've
that.
been instructed to present you any leftovers. Oh, no. But this way. No. This way is much better. I don't suppose anyone would mind if I just took a little bite. Just a little nip. It is the night of the Scarlet Moon, after all. Just a little nip. Rules do loosen up that even us domestics can let our hair down and howl at the moon a bit.
Then he turns into that. So that is that. So then the attacks. So what can you tell us about this monster here?
So this is Jameson the werewolf domestic. Basically, if you beat him on initiative, you get to fight his human form for 1 round, in which case he attacks you with his teapot. If you lose to him on initiative, he transforms into the wolf right away. The wolf starts us off with a fear-based howl, so prayers are really useful there. He then frenzies and attacks the majority of the group, but he also mauls a single target for a large amount of damage. There's a reflex save to avoid that. Additionally, he's a blighted lycanthrope, so some of the extra tokens affect him differently this year, and he has a chance to pass on that blight. Anyone who's infected with lycanthropic blight has to struggle for control for the first round of any combat hereafter, or they can just give in to the lycanthropic rage, but then they can only attack in melee, so more painful for casters than it is for barbarians.
Yeah, that was a really cool room. Now, this is, I'm about to now show everyone a first for our Riddle Reveals, a Room 2 blooper. So check this out.
Where's Gusto?
Yes!
We didn't know if we were going to be able to do another one, so we just kept trying.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we were able to find a second teapot.
Yeah, that is nuts. That is very, very cool. Yeah, so there you go. Room 2 blooper. They just kept shooting just in case they couldn't find another teapot. So, yeah. All right, so let me check in with Chet here. So Valerian said, we thought you had to get one of the boxes out. Nope. Bach Aiden says, Paul's box of interesting is near certainly a different level than others. Maggie, what's up, Maggie? Maggie says, my group tried tying up the domestic at first. We didn't have anything silver, so it didn't last, I bet. Meniskia says, we had way too much fun filming this. And Inglade says, werewolf couldn't handle the situation. Some people's children. All right, let's dive into room 3, which is this is a little bit of a longer
With
video,
the guard
but I want everybody
dispatched,
to.
you have little choice but
So
to
kind of
press
talk
on.
us through.
Pushing open the ornately
after the
carved doors
text
of the
here.
castle's grand ballroom, you peer into the hellish chamber beyond. Its vaulted ceilings vanish into shadow, and its marble floor burns with the reflected fire of the scarlet moon. Masked aristocrats glide across the floor in a grotesque parody of impossible grace, their laughter forced and their eyes full of a desperate hunger. For a fleeting moment, it almost feels as though your group has gone unnoticed. Then, the ghostly music fades and a sea of masks turns towards you. Smiles sharp and far too inviting as they begin to close the distance.
Okay, so this was a super interesting room. We actually had 5 NPCs in here.
Yeah,
this is Lexi, who did an amazing job as well.
Well,
Yeah, we're going to keep playing this, and then we'll have Paul talk about each little creature here.
I shall have to have several pointed words with the help. Honestly, mortals these days are so unbearably rude. First that posturing braggart of a hero, and now this. Do you Dawn people even have any idea how rare it is for a commoner to be invited to the Scarlet Moon Masquerade? Now apologize for your rudeness and die properly, won't you?
We're invited because we're the meal. So tell us about this monster here.
All right, so this room, we really wanted to pay off the whole Vampire Masquerade thing, so we got a whole bunch of local NPCs to be different vampires for us. There were 3 targets in the room: the tall one, the loud one, the tall one, the fancy one, and the rude one.
Yeah.
And you could attack any of those targets you wished. They all had the same armor class and saves, but they all had different resistances and vulnerabilities. So some were really vulnerable to piercing and really resistant to holy. Others were, I think you found the one that right away that was resistant to slashing.
Yeah,
you were just crushing it.
I got lucky with that one, right?
They would hit for either blunt or slashing, all for the same amount of damage. They were not aeriable, and these were also blighted creatures. They could leave behind vampire blight, which was different than werewolf blight, and would reduce players by 2 strength per bite. But fortunately, you guys all made your saves. I don't know if any other groups got particularly blighted, but that would have chased them through to the end of the dungeon.
Yeah.
This would be the 3rd vampire. This would be the guy that you have to take out on Nightmare. The 2 past him would technically only need to be taken out for Mythic and for Epic and Mythic.
Oh yeah, because I think we played Epic to be safe because I think we were short.
This is one of my favorite guys, the Vampire Pugilist.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, my brains. Yeah, these are very cool.
And then this was our last one.
Very cool effects. Love the wings on this.
We had to track those all into the shop manually, so it took a minute.
I bet. Yeah, these were very cool monsters. What kind of attacks did she have?
Well, she did this thing where she turned into bats and threw those all at you.
Mm-hmm.
That would have triggered a reflex save and the bin 4 slashing damage. But for the most part, we kept the attacks pretty standardized between vampires, since the number of them you had to clear was based on difficulty.
Got it. Awesome. Very, very cool room. I love the shadowy dancing figures. That was, very ominous. So that was a very, very cool room. Now, room 4 was a live NPC, Von Richter herself. So we've got a little behind-the-scenes video of that. Let's check that out.
When they received my last order, as we have here an entire cache of vampire slaying equipment sealed with a defective charm. I mean, I could bypass it myself, but well, I thought I'd give you an opportunity to share in the glory. It's only sporting, right? And to keep things interesting and, well, you might need it. You can have this clue I found while I was waiting about. Then get to work.
So this is the famous Gilda von Richter, a legend in her own mind.
Love the outfit. Yeah, I thought she did a great job. Yeah, and here's some pictures of that room. This room was really well designed. How, if at all, were you involved in the design of this room, like what the theater kids or film kids would call set design? Who did the set design?
Mostly it was John who put it together for us. Like, I sent him a picture of what I wanted the room to look like, and honestly, for both rooms, he just really nailed it in terms of bringing it to life.
Wow.
Yeah, I just said, really, all we need is a table, and he built the rest of the design. I love that he's got some of your friends are hiding there in the background, keeping an eye on you, making sure that you're not getting in too much trouble.
Let me zoom in on this one spot here. I'm going to assume you guys brought this here. Let me zoom in here. So does anybody recognize the middle thing in red there? Anybody in chat? Yeah, so here's another shot. So there's 9 of these placards. Ooh, so now we know that I'm going to assume all was sent out. So we need to find 9 of these. So if you have these and you haven't said so in chat, please do so. And also reach out to Dave Gershbach. He's the team token quartermaster. So he helps organize all kinds of nerd stuff like this. So yeah, reach out to him. And if you don't know how to reach out to him, reach out to me and I'll connect you. Here's another very cool behind the scenes shot. Who's that? My Lord. Is that Grunnell's head?
Grunnell's always looking out for you guys.
Now, I don't know if everyone got to this step, but tell us what we're looking at here.
This was back in room 1. If you managed to solve the lock puzzle particularly easily, there was a bunch of extra stuff you could find in the room with you. Obviously, there's a reference there to the wall chicken from Castlevania, but there was also a hilarious little table we could roll against if you wanted to dig through those supply cupboards as you got back your equipment, all your weapons and swords and stuff. You could find items like the Masquerade menu, which was a fancy pamphlet listing tonight's finest vintages along with your pictures and tasting notes. Such things as a vampire maid's outfit that granted freedom of movement if anyone wanted to wear it during the masquerade, a monogrammed handkerchief with CC, no in-game effect, things of that nature.
Very cool. I love it when when you do have, if you do something kind of quick, and you got some time to kill, there's a secret room or secret potions or mushrooms or flowers or butterflies. I love all those little extra things, just in case maybe you're running through a second time or you just happen to solve something or defeat a monster kind of quickly. All right, let me check into chat here. Let's see, where was I? The domestic, we didn't have fun. Werewolf couldn't handle. All right, so Valerian says he had a really juicy crit in this room, almost 400 damage with the human fighter. Jesus, holy potatoes. Jirakin, is that Steve? You getting that right?
That is DM Steve.
Yeah, DM Steve. Yeah, DM Steve. He says, hi, Paul. Hi, Trent. Hello, also from Canada. What's up, DM Steve? Salsa John says he's talking about you here, did a fantastic job on Scarlet Moon Masquerade Picc. It was so cool for the patrons to experience it. I agree. Conqueror says, love this room, but the combat through the website/app behind it felt functionally weird. Oh, sorry you had to deal with that. Jake says, yay, Lexi. And Inlegage says that's our lava fiend friend. Yeah, that skull. The fire fiend. And let's see. Conqueror says, too bad Detect Evil didn't do anything. Would it not? Wouldn't it just say, yes, you're completely surrounded? Isn't that what Detect Evil? Or does it not work because they're so weirdly magic?
I think it would depend on the target. If they're talking about having cast it on Gilda is actually chaotic neutral in the module. She's just an arrogant narcissist. Sadly, not all humans are actually elemental evil. Some of them are just regular old-fashioned.
Regular, that's funny. And AA Magic says, is the red cloaked skull Mary Lord? LWYD? Somebody maybe can help me answer that. Bach Aiden says needed, so is agreeing with you, Paul, needed Detect Eagle, not Detect Evil in this dungeon. Yeah. And Florazer says, oh geez, now I get the chicken/turkey reference. Michael Deanin says, how can you attend this event, getting to know True Dungeon better? Okay, that's a great question, Michael. So this was a patron-exclusive virtual True Dungeon event. In order to attend a physical or virtual patron event, you must get a patron code. The patron code is part of an 8K set, or you could just bid on that in an auction, or just buy it directly from someone. So those are the ways. Do your own 8K, or get with a group of people, especially when I was first starting out, there'd be like, you could get 8 people and you each do 1K a piece, or 4 each do 2K, or some variation. Do your own 8K, participate in an auction and bid on it, or just buy it directly from someone. And then with that code, you put that into your td.events account, and then you can attend the patron event. Highly recommend it.
Not to plug too much, but I do know a fabulous guy who runs a ton of auctions, and that is a great place to get a patron code.
Okay. So Paul is saying he knows someone who runs a bunch of auctions, and that's a great way to get a patron code. So reach out to Paul if you want to know, how to do that. But there's also tons of other people who do auctions as well. And Steve says he also accepts DM Steve as well as AC Steve. So, true. And David Haas answers that question as well. And the Friendly Fiend Charm says, this fiend has good charms.
I hear they're defective.
Yeah, defective. Okay, Paul, the Dungeon Master, said so. Bach Aiden says, these charms were delicious at Gamehole Con, at least the legal suites. Maggie says, AA Magic, someone else knows the Mary Lured, someone else. I don't know what that is. Bach Aiden says, grateful I got to help volunteer during this event. Lots of fun. So, Bach Aiden, what did you do? What was your, do you know maybe, Paul? What did Bach Aiden do?
I'm not familiar with the username.
Yeah, so tell us what you did, and thank you for volunteering. Bach Aiden. Now, next up, let's go to room 5, shall we?
Enchanted hammer and stake in hand, Gilda leads you confidently deeper into the crypts below Castle Cravenmoor. Your footfalls echoing through vaulted corridors, thick with the scent of damp stone and old blood. You follow her as the air grows colder around you, until at last she rounds a corner, and you find yourself standing once again before a familiar masked aristocrat.
Ah, splendid. You've broken the Order's wards and recovered their sacred weapons.
Yes, and if you value your unlife, you'll step aside, cur. Tonight I'm after bigger prey.
Oh, of course you are. Then by all means, Gilda van Richter. History does not like to be kept waiting, does it?
Huh. Finally, a vampire who knows his place. Now then, you lot. Consider this small fry your contribution to my legend. Dispose of the Count's footmen here, while I go on to the truly historic part. Do the thing right, and you just might warrant a verse in my next ballad.
Her delusions truly beggar to belief, do they not? Still, I find some small joy in letting her keep them a bit longer. Hope is such a fragile toy, and you're confused, and I have been such an ungracious host. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Craven, Lord of Sorrow. You have earned that much at least, but do not yet have the right to face me any more than the fools who dance and schemed above. Can you imagine? They actually thought me vulnerable. And then you killed them for me. A thank you is in order. The masquerade is always entertaining. Now then, I have settled on a test for you. Survive this, and I may decide that there is more to you than the rest of your pitiful little order.
All right, and with that, he summons Craven's Nocturne.
Enchanted
Very
hammer
cool.
and stake in...
So this, let me get to this part here.
Enchanted hammer and stake in hand, Gilda leads you confidently deeper into the crypts below Castle Cravenmoor. Your footfalls echoing through vaulted corridors, thick with the scent of damp stone and old blood. You follow her as the air grows colder around you, until at last...
Hold on, I'm in the wrong spot.
Yep.
That's where I wanted to be. Okay, here we are. So tell us about this monster.
So the Nocturne was our accursed monster for this dungeon. It did this blood drain, which was pretty nasty. The blood drain would actually knock out... it would basically knock out 50% health from the target and heal the creature for the same amount.
Whoa.
That was pretty horrible. It also did a wing buffet where it slammed into the group for a bit of AoE damage. And this thing was just a really high armor class and a whole lot of hit points. It was also all sonic based. So it had some sonic based retribution damage from its echolocation. And it did sonic damage and took extra damage from sonic due to its sensitive hearing. So that kind of worked both ways on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a very cool room. Also a great reveal of Craven. So I thought that overall was just super, super cool. So that was room 5. Let's dive into room 6.
You move quickly, eager to put the still twitching remains of the fallen creature far behind you. Following the path you saw Gilda take, you soon arrive at a heavy dwarven steel door. Etched with the ancient sigils of power, your information tells you marks the room beyond as Craven's resting chamber. Several once sanctified relics of the Order of the Dawn lie dormant nearby, their light already spent. Gilda must have used them to force her way through. But to your horror, it seems her efforts have also awoken the corrupted souls of Craven's many victims. Roll for initiative.
All right, so these were the spirits of Craven's former victims. There was a couple interesting things going on with these guys. They were incorporeal, which we've been steering away from lately, but we brought it back for these guys. They do an icy claw attack on up to the whole party, depending on the difficulty. But the really nasty thing they did was a attempt to latch on to a caster and pull them to the brink. That would trigger a fortitude save versus undead touch attack, and failure on that would not only trigger some undead psychic damage, but also reduce the target's focus by 50% for the remainder of the dungeon.
Whoa, that is brutal that it's a caster, fortitude save, and losing focus for the rest of the dungeon. That's brutal.
Especially if they got a hold of your healer.
Yeah.
Now on the plus side, since these spirits did not want to be here, they actually had a very good vulnerability to the Ghost Accelerator. They would fail their save on a 1 through 5 instead of having the normal plus 37 that a lot of monsters do on higher difficulties.
Wow, that's interesting. They didn't want to be there. Okay, cool. Yeah, also another cool room. Let me check in with chat. Buck Aiden says that he is DM/trainer Matt. What's up, Matt? Maggie has a great question. Paul, maybe you could answer this. Was the person or Craven that we just saw, that actor/person, NPC, was he also the nephew in January? Meaning, I assume, is the nephew Craven? Was Craven portraying the nephew? Is probably the question being asked here.
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I mean, the nephew seemed like such a trustworthy fellow. It was definitely him. That was Jake in both cases, and he was doing a phenomenal job. Actually, when he was doing that nephew stuff, that was when he was in the shop recording these Craven sequences as well.
Right, and the nephew came through because of one of those theater kid things, like there was the person couldn't make it or something. It was supposed to be a woman who couldn't make it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you were supposed to be dealing with a leader of the Romani kind of analog Madame Eva character, but due to last-minute weather, they had to swap in Jake instead. So we were just able to capture all that great Craven footage totally opportunistically, which was amazing that they were all able to just do that so quick.
Right, so we know it was the same actor, Jake. Now, maybe you answered this, but I don't know if it clicked in my brain. Craven, played by Jake, was that Craven in the role as the nephew? Is my question, or are you not answering that? You don't want to answer that.
I believe it was pretty obvious. To quote another Gilda, it was pretty obvious. Yes, it was him. That was Craven in both cases.
Okay, Maggie. Because of the story change, because of the theater kid things that happen behind the scenes. Great question, Maggie. And Jake says, "I'm glad finally someone got it." Well, we're a lot of handsome people here, not a lot of super smart people. So yeah, that was Maggie's questions. Valerian says, "Mark of the Tenants doing wonders here. Great token to have here." And Jake is confirming that was Craven in disguise, and Salsa John is telling us Jake is there. All right, so now let's dive into the final room, room 7. Everybody, let's check it out.
Hold your breath, Gilda does say blah blah blah.
Craven's resting chamber, and what should have been your
here's the
climactic
Valerian
battle.
monologuing.
The room is vast and unnervingly empty, as you knew it would be. No coffin, no signs of struggle, no sign of Gilda or Craven at all. For a single fragile moment, you are alone with the realization that you may have arrived.
Everything's
too
fine.
late. Then the
Nice
air
night,
shimmers
good
and a
view.
surge of explosive arcane force slams into you from
What's
behind,
that?
carrying with it a wave of pain and the unmistakable weight of betrayal as Gilda Van Richter steps grandiosely from the shadows.
I love that effect.
Oh, you survived. I had assumed the Count's footman would have been more of a challenge for you.
Full of
This
herself.
was supposed to be my moment, you know. Craven flees, I give chase, and when the dust settles, the hero of the Scarlet Moon becomes a legend. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
I agree.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
But as
good
you
ring.
can see, the Count is not here.
I know. Where'd he go?
Which means whatever you did on the way in,
He's visiting his aunt.
well, no matter. In any case, I can't afford to let you try to explain it to the Order. Oh, don't look at me that way. You'll be
what way?
remembered as, well, foolish, perhaps, but brave. Most
are brave.
definitely brave.
I agree.
Most definitely.
Yes,
Most
the
definitely.
world will know our story.
Oh, okay. We're
How
part
the
of story.
hero of a dozen ballads, I, Gilda von Richter, pressed on alone under the Scarlet Moon.
That's your story.
Yes,
Where
sir.
are
I
we?
was regrettably too late to save you from the depths of Craven's sanctum. And
Chat,
how
you can just start getting
I
your attack rolls
alone
ready.
survived to avenge
Yeah,
you,
where's my dice?
my
My
fallen
initiative dice.
brethren in the Order. Burdened with grief and glorious purpose,
Glorious purpose.
I, Gilda, will carry our tale back to those who need to hear it.
How kind.
I will bear the weight of what comes next. One hero, one voice.
One voice.
No inconvenient witnesses asking awkward questions, right?
That's us, right?
History is so much clearer when there is only one voice left to tell the tale. Don't you think?
She attacks.
And then she stabs you.
All right. So tell us about the attacks of this, no surprise, turned against us, Gilda von Richter.
Okay, well, firstly, she starts with that monologue, which, fair play on me. I should have probably taken one more pass at shortening that. Sorry, guys. She has a psychic blast during her opening monologue. If you're immune to surprise, you can get a will save to avoid about half that damage. Otherwise, everyone just gets psychically blasted. She then alternates through 3 attacks. She has a lightning sword attack where she slashes into the group, knocking up to 4 people. She follows that up with a toss from her throwing dagger on the second round. That throwing dagger only hits 1 person, triggers a DC fortitude save, depending on the difficulty. That can trigger a bleed that lasts for the remainder of combat, and it's a pretty nasty bleed. Her third attack is a crushing insult. I hope that you guys got a chance to hear at least a couple of her crushing insults since they were particularly narcissistic. That triggers a will save versus psychic damage and stuns you if you fail it. And then when it comes back around to the lightning sword auto hits on stunned characters.
Wow.
So that is particularly unpleasant.
Yeah.
She's also immune to taunt and takes extra sonic damage because she does have a fragile ego.
That's cool that she's immune to taunt. That's very, very cool. All right, let me check in with chat here. So let's see. So Valerian says she's so full of herself. I agree. Salsa John says the monologue was great. It went on and 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 on. And AA Magic says wanting to enter house owner sings reasons why they can't. If house owner loses, Minnie enters home and eats owner's food and drinks owner's alcohol. What? I'm not sure where that's coming from. I probably missed something. Do you know what that means, Paul?
I got nothing.
Okay, all right. You have to fill us in. Maybe AA Magic is talking to people in the chat. The Valerian says, pretty sure this was when we asked the DM if we could get our attack rolls in. Yeah. Nick says, time is the enemy, Gilda. And Jake says, time is your enemy, not mine. True. Maggie, I agree with Maggie. Maggie says, love her costume. It's fabulous. Yeah, very, very nice. And checking in. It looks like we've got some Harry Potter references here. Steve says, I think her brother is a wizard named Gilderoy. Right?
Might be.
Lockhart might be her maiden name.
I think that was now canon.
yeah, that's canon. Gilda von Rittger, who's joining us from beyond, says monologuing was my real attack. That's the trick. Take all that time, and now you only have a minute to fight her. And then Valerian says our DM was kind enough to play through the ones we didn't get to during combat once we defeated her. That's cool. And Conqueror says the final taunt was the best one. And speaking of seeing something that you may or may not see. Now, since we all just did the patron event once, we either completed the final room or we were defeated in the final room. So I'm going to show you two videos here. I'm going to show you the victory celebration video if you succeeded, and also the defeat video, which if you've never seen one of those before, then good for you, but now you get to see one. So here's the victory, and then I'm going to go and jump right into the defeat one.
Well done, brave adventurers! Against all odds, ancient horrors and bitter betrayals you have endured. Though the Count himself has fled beyond your reach for now, a false hero lies slain with her 13th ballad ended in death, not glory. And as the morning sun begins to creep across the valley, history will remember this day, not as Gilda van Richter intended, but as the moment even Craven fled before the might of true heroes. The masquerade is broken, his ancient schemes undone, and as those who once hid behind silken masks are scattered back into the shadows, you know you have accomplished something meaningful here today, not easily undone. In the days and weeks that follow, word spreads swiftly through the secret channels of the Order. For the first time in living memory, the servants of Craven flee rather than hunt. A miracle the Order lays squarely at your feet. They are
Good
grateful.
job.
Be sure to check your
Success.
event swag for a special token of that gratitude, commemorating this exclusive adventure. And thank you once again for your continued patronage in
Special token.
2026.
All right, so that's victory. Now let's check out
Alas,
the
valiant
defeat.
adventurers, though you fought with courage and resolve beneath the Scarlet Moon, your victory was incomplete, and Gilda van Richter's twisted ambition proved even more deadly than the horrors of Cravenmoor. Yet all is not lost. As the light fades from your eyes, the horns of the Order of the Dawn ring in your ears. Reinforcements from the Order have arrived, driving off Craven's remaining servants and pulling you back from the brink of death. You awaken hours later under a pale morning sky, alive and surrounded by your friends in the Order. They tell you that though the Count escaped, the masquerade was broken and his servants scattered. You ask about Gilda's fate, and they tell you only that her 13th ballad ended with death, not glory. That
Not
her
good.
betrayal is known and will be recorded
That first
in the
step's
archive,
the doozy.
alongside an accounting of her crimes and failures. In time, most will forget her entirely, but the Order knows the truth of this night. They know who broke the masquerade, who penetrated the Count's protections, and who was willing to pay the ultimate price, standing against both corrupted friend and foe alike. They are grateful. Be sure to check your event swag for a special token of that gratitude, commemorating this exclusive adventure. And thank you once again for your continued patronage in 2026.
Very, very cool. All right, so if anyone has any final questions for Paul, speak now, please, because we're about to wrap it up. And next up is the next event, Ring Con, May 29th through 30th. You can go to truedungeon.com/ring-con, I believe, is the URL. There's going to be these 4 amazing events there, True Grind being one of them. Paul, are you the Dungeon Master at all the True Grind events?
I am indeed. We should have Raven and Kim there with us as well, and it's going to be a great show.
Wow. Can you tell us anything about True Grind that you want to share with our listeners here?
Remember to bring your fiend accoutrements. Any little skulls that she may have given you might be useful. Other than that, you'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, honey, we have to bring the bracelets. Okay, my wife is right over here. The bracelets. Yeah. All right. She said, yeah. Your wife gave them. Yeah. We have to bring those. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Again, any more questions in chat? Please speak up. Now, the next show is going to be the 9th anniversary of Trent Tokens. I started playing in 2016, and then I started the Trent Token site in 2017 in May. I think May 14th, maybe. So the next show is the 9th anniversary show, Saturday, May 16th at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll be interviewing Jeff, and it's going to be the Ring Con show. So we're going to talk about Ring Con. So besides the anniversary show, it's also Ring Con. Now, if you're listening to this live or before this show, I'll tell you, besides my normal giveaways, the treasure chips and the gold, which we're about to do, I'm also going to be giving away. Check this out. Oh, I got a little camera here for this. So let me do something here. Hold on. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be giving away. All right. So hold on one second. Let's see this camera here.
What?
This camera here. Let me zoom in. Whoops,
Dude,
that's zooming out.
awesome.
I'm going to be giving away a golden ticket. Golden ticket. Golden ticket. Yep, I'm going to be giving away a golden ticket for the 9th anniversary show. So be there or be square. You don't want to miss that. So let me get to this shot here. So yes, that's going to be one of the giveaways on the 9th anniversary show, May 16th at, I think that's the right date. I moved my calendar. Hold on, let me go check. Yeah, May 16th. So that's the show, the 9th anniversary show, and we're going to be talking about Ring Con. So there you have it. So in chat, I've got people saying questions. Let's see. Let me try to find the questions. Ashton says, looking forward to seeing most of you there. The Garrett Bray says, thanks for your time, and thanks for your time, Paul, and thank you, Trent. You're welcome, buddy. Jake says, Paul, are you going to show them the special recording?
Oh,
I don't know.
let me see if I'm not sure if I can make that happen. Give me just a second.
All right, so he's going to look for the special recording. While you're doing that, I'm going to catch up with chat. Bakaden says, question, are bracelets useful for those who aren't playing grind? So who can answer that?
If you can track down the fiend, it shouldn't matter where you find her, but they will be more useful for people who are specifically in grind.
More useful, but track down the fiend. And AA Magic says, everyone going to RingCon, have fun. We will try. Nick says, thanks for everything, Paul. Manyard42 says, wow. And we got a couple of woots. I think that might be about the golden ticket. Awesome giveaway, says Michael. Hot damn, says Maggie. John says, thank you, Paul. I will have salsa for you. So, did you find this special recording? You want to give it a shot or not? Oh, we can't hear you, Paul. We lost your...
Let me get off mute.
There you go.
All right, I do have the special recording. Let me just see if I can change audio. Let me just see if I can change the audio real quick, because
Okay.
this might take just a moment.
It's all right.
Banana.
See if this works. Mackenzie says, thank you, Paul. Nice seeing you again. So we didn't hear that. Is that the special recording? Oh, now we don't hear you, Paul.
Okay, were you able to hear him?
I didn't hear him. Did anybody else hear him?
No. Well, that's disappointing. All right, I will make sure that becomes available to other people through other channels.
Okay, cool. So there's a special. So Steve says no. So yeah, make us. Make that available. Send it to me, and we'll spread it out. We'll make it work. When I advertise my next show, I'll go ahead and we'll make sure that thing works there. All right. So Paul, this has been awesome. As I mentioned to you before the show, I have this list of people that I want to interview. You've been on it for a long time. I'm super happy that we were able to set this up. I think you're just an awesome human. You and your wife are great for True Dungeon, and I think you epitomize what's awesome about True Dungeon. Very kind people come together, doing things together to create something wonderful for others to enjoy. So you're an awesome human, and thank you for doing what you do. And I think True Dungeon is super lucky to have you. Do you have any closing thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
Honestly, just the same, man. Like, thank you for everything you do for True Dungeon. You make this place awesome, and it's because of you guys that we have the opportunity to build cool things. So thank you.
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you to say. Well, thank you, Paul. Everybody, let's give a round of applause to Paul. Thank you. You're awesome. And we will see you at Ring Con. So thank you again, Paul. You have a good one. Nice chatting with you. Thank you for doing the show.
Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. See you, Paul. All right. So that was Paul. How cool is Paul, everybody? All right, so now it is time. So last call for filling out that form. Click it and type fast because it's time for me to now grab that list. Speaking of that list, I'm going to go through that list and make sure we have no duplicates. It looks like we have 54 people who have signed up. So now I'm just going to make sure there's no duplicates here. Give me a quick second to double check everything. Let's see, little data. So talk amongst yourselves here. Oh yeah, and check out the prizes, first, second, and third. Remove duplicates. There we go. Okay, there were no duplicates. That's great. Okay, awesome. So now I will copy all of these names into our wheel. And here we go with our wheel. Let me go to full screen, and now I'm going to share the screen. Actually, let me go back to full screen. All right, so here's everyone's names. You should see all your names here on this list. And actually, let me go back and make sure there's no more people. So you can see there's 54. Let me hit refresh here. Okay, so still 54. All right, so that is that. Alrighty, so let's full screen this bad boy. All right, so here's everybody. Good luck. All right, so we're going to start off with our third place prize. Third place is a 1K cold bar, 1K gold bar, 10x chip. Second place is a 5K bar, a 3x chip. First place is a 25K bar and a single treasure chip. So we're going to start with third place first. Again, you must say hello in chat that you're here, and you must be present. So let's get cooking here. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Third place. Third place is Mark Christensen. Please say hello in chat, Mr. Mark Christensen. Mark, say hello. Say hello. Aha! Woot, I'm here. So we got to check. All right, so now we shall remove you, Mr. Mark. And now let's go to, congratulations, Mark. Let's go to second place. Second place. The winner is Aaron Binder. Please say hello in chat, Mr. Aaron Binder. Aaron, say hello in chat. He says hello in chat. Hello in chat. All right, so Aaron is here as well. All right, so that's the second place, which I think, like I said, I always call that the sweet spot, a 5K bar and a 3X chip. Now let's remove Aaron. And here's the big dog, a single treasure chip and a 25K bar. Who is going to win first place? It is Stephen Verheyen. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. You can maybe help us in chat. Say hello, first of all. That's me. Congrats, Stephen. All right, cool. So that is everybody. And the winners. So congratulations to third place, Mark Christensen. Second place, Aaron Binder. First place, Steve Verheyen. So I will reach out to you guys to confirm your mailing address. And I was Mackenzie says I was nowhere close, opposite side all 3 times. So that means you're doing something wrong. The universe is punishing you. So first of all, thank you very much again for everybody watching this show. I really, a million times really appreciate it. Because of the algorithm and all that other stuff, we need to do that liking and subscribing. So if you have not done that liking and subscribing, please do so now. And if you have, please tell your friends, family, and enemy to watch the show so we can spread the love of True Dungeon. Last I checked, we're at 565. We got to get that up to the 600 mark and then keep on chugging along. I will see everybody hopefully at the next show on May 16th, the 9th anniversary show, where I'll be giving away, besides our normal prizes, a golden ticket, which is really fun if you've never done that before. And then of course I hope to see you all at Ring Con. So there you have it. That's the show. Thanks again to Paul for being an incredible human, and Gilda as well for being a great wife. That's her stage name. And we'll see all them at Ring Con. So again, thank you for watching the show, and don't forget, one of my favorite things to say, it's very difficult to frown if you're smiling. So please smile.